Okay, so welcome to the Never Give Up, Everyone Matters team call for October 11th. Tonight's topic is going to be, we have a guest speaker, Brad Bizjack, and his topic is going to be about extremely different approach to goal setting. But before I introduce Brad, I want to go over some announcements for October. There's actually 8 challenge packs on sale this month. They're the same ones that were on sale last month, which is the Country Heat 21-Day Fix, 21-Day Fix Extreme, 22-Minute Hardcore, 3 days, the 3-Day Refresh, Beachbody On Demand, Size, and PIO are all on special this month, free with a Shakeology purchase for $142. Also, if you hit Success Club 5 in October, you will earn a webcast with a social media and technology expert, Eric Qualman. So that would be a pretty cool opportunity to listen in and learn more about social media. And I know I could use more technology expertise. Core de Force is supposed to launch on November 1st. And the sneak peek is coming up on October 24th on Beachbody On Demand. We already had one sneak peek, but this is your opportunity to try another workout. Let's see. Super Saturday is in October as well. Portland Super Saturday is October 30th, which is a Sunday from 12 to 3 p.m. And Joel and Jericho will actually be at our Super Saturday showcasing Core de Force. If you were out of state, there is a place on Beachbody or on the Backline office where you can search for your Super Saturday near you, or let me know and I can help you find the location nearest you. So those are the announcements, but the guest speaker tonight is Brad Bizjack. He is a 2016 Elite Coach, a 5-star Diamond Coach, Success Club 10 All-Star. He was featured in the 21-Day Fix infomercial, and he participates as Autumn's guest workout person at Summit and at our Success Club trips. He's been our longtime buddy and motivator for Team Hard Rock Bodies, and so I'm super excited to have him on the call tonight to share with us his approach to goal setting. So take it away, Brad.
Woo! How you guys doing? You good?
I have them muted.
We're good to go? Okay. So I'm pumped to talk to you guys. Before we get started, we need to take a picture real quick. And I'm going to do this. Everyone smile. 1, 2, 3. Sweet. And we got that done. Has to happen. But anyways, I really appreciate the introduction and just being here tonight. Guys, I haven't had the privilege of meeting all of you, but with Christina and Lisa, seriously, like one of the things before we get started is I think we need to take a second and truly appreciate how much they just freaking love you guys. Like seriously, how much they pour themselves in, their heart and souls every fucking day to helping you guys succeed and to giving you the resources. Are there kids around? Am I allowed to swear? Like to giving you guys the resources in every way they possibly can to help you guys succeed and grow. And it's one of the signs of amazing leaders and just something I truly appreciate about them. And so if you guys would share something in the chat box, like just why you're grateful for these guys, because they're freaking awesome. And I just want to share that real quick before we get rocking and rolling. But yeah, so thank you guys very much for taking the time out of your night to be here. And I appreciate your commitment to just continuous learning, right? Like that's one of the signs of really successful people. It's not a matter of if you're going to achieve the goal. It's a matter of when, right? Like hell, I've been stuck in the same spot in my business for a year, right? And it's been kind of frustrating and tough, but it's as long as you're consistently learning and growing and progressing, right? Like you'll eventually get past that spot, and you don't see learning as a chore. Like you see it as an opportunity, and it's so cool to be here with you guys. And so my goal tonight is not to talk about goal setting and have another boring, write your goals down and make a plan and all that stuff. Like we hear that all the time. I want to get down to the psychology of why we do what we do. That's what I want to get down to tonight. And we're going to take some massive action, and we're going to get to our goals. And this stuff, guys, is not stuff that I came up with. Okay, I got to give credit where credit's due. I learned this from Tony Robbins. This is through consistent daily personal growth. on a regular basis, like every single day, fighting to give myself as much opportunity to learn and grow as I possibly can. In the shower, when you're pooping, you find a way to do personal growth. And that's where this stuff comes from. So it really shows, like what you'll learn tonight really shows how that third vital behavior, which I consider the first vital behavior, really makes a difference, not just in your business, but in your quality of life. And that's what this is about. It's not just about Beachbody, it's about your life. So if you're dissatisfied in any way, shape, or form right now in your business, I want you to get really excited, because that dissatisfaction is a gem as long as you use it, right? As long as you use it and you don't keep it dormant. So there's gonna be a lot of little nuggets. And keep in mind, guys, this is much easier to teach and talk about than it is to implement. But every single day, we just try and strive to be our best and progress in any way we can. So what I want to hear from you guys, I want you guys to type in the chat box, what is your big goal this year? I want you guys to write that in the chat box right now. Your big goal for this year. Write that down. Let's see some of them. I actually have a beer that I'm going to have a sip of. There you go. I'm pretty hydrated too, Lisa. I just had a little bit of a beer tonight. It's okay. Beer mood. Let's see them. What do we got? What do we got? 5-star Lisa, love it. Game Back Diamond, Rachel, that's awesome. Kick off your coaching. I love that. What else we got? Anyone else? Sharon?
Trying.
All right. So we'll get Christina's in a second. But so what I want to ask you guys, why don't we achieve those things? Right? Like, have you ever wondered why the hell it is that we don't achieve the things that we want? Why is that? It's really, 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 really simple. The biggest illusion in life that we have is that we believe we're missing the resources to make something happen. That's it. Some fear in our mind has convinced us, and this is in relation to coaching, but this applies to every category of life. Some fear has convinced us that we don't know enough people, we don't know how, we don't have the time, we don't have the money. But guys, that's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. That's not the problem. The problem is the lack of resourcefulness, and I'll prove it to you right now. So let's use an example of the most basic minimum thing that we do as a coach, right? Success Club. That is the minimum expectation of a coach working their business, right? And sometimes coaches struggle with that. Great leaders struggle with that sometimes, right? But that's the minimum expectation of a coach. And we always hear from coaches, I don't have time for more conversations, or I don't know enough people, or I don't know how, whatever it is. And I will let you have that illusion for a couple seconds. But for a second, I want you to picture the person that you love the most in your life. Just picture them real quick. Maybe it's a baby you just had. If you're, maybe it's your spouse. If you're not with anyone, maybe it's a pet or a best friend, whatever it is. Picture the person that you love the most in your life that makes you so freaking happy every day, and really think about it. What makes you love them so much? Like, what do you feel when you think about them? Think about the experiences you've had with them. Think about how you fell in love with them. Think about every memory you guys have together. And the reason I say that is because I want you to imagine now for a second that you found out that they had 10 years to live and you had limited time with them. 10 more years, that's it. And you can't leave your job because you have to pay for their medical treatments, right? You can't go anywhere. But you also know that you've seen these people rock and roll with this Beachbody opportunity where if you work your ass off for a year or two, you can spend the balance of that time that they have left with them every single day, every single memory. Think about that. All of a sudden, how resourceful would you be? How hard would Success Club really be, right? It'd be pretty damn easy, right? Success Club 10 would be pretty damn easy, right? Because you have a freaking purpose to do it. And all of a sudden, that thing that was oh so hard to do before is a joke because you're resourceful, right? Like, guys, when your purpose is deep enough, taking action becomes second nature and you just do. You don't have to have this magical lightning bolt of motivation to strike you in the ass, right? You just do because you have a reason. You have somewhere you're going. I always use this metaphor when I speak about how your purpose is like a compass, right? And you're steering your ship in the middle of the ocean. Your purpose is this compass. It's guiding you, right? And when the storm of life comes, which I promise you, it always will. The storm of life is coming. There's going to be shit that gets in your way. There are going to be things that try to get in your way from achieving the things that you want to do. People, situations, life circumstances, things are going to get in your way. And when that storm of life comes and there's 50-foot waves in every single direction and there's clouds blocking the stars and you can't navigate by the stars, you still have your compass, right? And you're further along in your journey. You can still steer your ship. And meanwhile, when that storm subsides, that storm of life, that shit that you're going through, when that subsides, which it always will, you're further along in your journey. And meanwhile, everyone that set out without that purpose, without that compass, is scrambling in a panic, trying to figure out where the hell they are, or crashing against the rocks, right? That's what those people are doing, because they never took the time to really think about, why am I here? What's my purpose, right? So I just proved to you right there that the biggest illusion that we have is we're missing the resources to make a goal happen. It's not that you don't know enough people. It's not that you don't have the time. It's not that you don't have the money. It has nothing to do with that. The real issue is the lack of resourcefulness. The reasons why we aren't at our goals is because we don't have enough reasons to get there. And how we get resources, how we find those resources, is very simple. It's human emotion. That's it. Emotion is the driver of resources. Like, what's the way that you're facing the problem that's in your life, right? Are you coming from a place of being really frustrated or overwhelmed or bored or lazy? Or are you coming from a place of complete passion and determination and excitement every single day? What's the way that you're facing the problem in your life? Are you focused on, I don't know enough people to invite? Or are you focused on, how can I find more people to invite? What's the way that you're focusing on the problem you're facing? If you get out of your own head and you become emotional about something coming true, that emotion is going to drive your resourcefulness and lead to different decisions. Guys, every single outcome in our life is driven by our choices, right? Every action we take has a reason. It's either fathered or mothered by a decision in our mind. So if you wonder why the hell your life is the way it is, take a really close look at the decisions you've made over the last 1, 5, 10, 15 years. It's going to give you a damn good indicator of why you are exactly where you are. We all have the business we deserve, and not a bit more. We're all earning the income that we deserve to earn because of our choices, because of our decisions. I look at my life and some of the situations I've gone through. And for the first 2 years of my business, I focused on my ego, right? I focused on people knowing my name and not the behaviors that grew this business. And my business didn't grow. It looked like it did. It didn't, right? And then I look at the decision, a change of decision, a decision to focus on the things that actually grew my business, the behaviors that grew this, caring about my team, genuinely pouring myself into them, and finally my business grew. And yes, there's different roadblocks along the way that we face, but guys, those are two very distinct, different decisions, right? Or a decision to break up with Janice back in college. I was sad, right? And then a decision to get back together with her. I was happy. Decision to get engaged. Passionate, excited, loving every single day, right? Your decisions are indicators of where you are in your life. It's just black and white. And sure, you could say, but this happened to me, right? My boss made me stay late. My father died, right? Something that significant or that traumatizing or that real. And if that happened, I'm genuinely sorry. But my question to you is, yes, there were those things that happened that might not have been fair. But the reality of life, guys, is that everyone has great times and everyone's got shit. Think about it. In those hard times, in those difficult times you face, what was your decision on how you responded? Did you decide to let it completely control your life? Or did you decide to do something about it instead? Guys, there's 3 decisions that you can make in any situation that changes the outcome of whatever you want. And I'll go through them briefly right now, and then I'll go through the balance of the call. So 1, what are you going to focus on? That's the first decision. What are you going to focus on right now in the situation you're facing? If you focus on the fear, what are people going to think? How am I going to be judged? That fear becomes very, very real. If you focus on what you don't have, why aren't my coaches doing something? Why can't I find enough people to hit Success Club? Why don't I have enough people? Why is there never money in my bank account? You're going to have less of those things, right? But if you change that focus to, what can I do to learn how to earn more money? What can I do to find more people? You're going to go towards what you want. If you focus on why things are not, they will never be. But if you focus on what you genuinely want, your brain can't tell the difference between a vivid desire and reality. And you're going to find a way to be resourceful. A lot of people, so many people focus on shit they can't control. Like even the weather, right? Saying the day is a bad day because of the weather, right? Or if a coach quits, or if someone makes fun of you, you don't control that. But if you focus on it, you're going to be stressed. But if you focus on what you can control, your decisions, your thoughts, the meaning you give to different situations, your choices, you're going to be happy every single day. Guys, whatever you focus on, you are going to feel regardless of if it's true or not. Focus equals reality to the individual, even if it's not reality in actuality. Focus equals reality to the individual, even if it's not reality in actuality. Second decision, what does this mean? Right? Like, what does this mean to me? And we'll cover more on that in a second. But in general, right, like, is this situation really painful, or is it really just a gift that's helping me become stronger, right? Whatever meaning you choose to associate with any experience becomes reality. People ask me, why are you so happy all the time, right? And it almost annoys them, right? And I'm going to tell you why towards the end of this call, how you can literally master your emotions. And I'm going to show you how. It becomes what you believe, right? Whatever meaning you give to an experience becomes what you believe. We'll talk more on that in a minute. Number 3, what am I going to do about this? Because the action that you take is going to be completely different based on the state that you're in, right? If you're disappointed or angry or sad or frustrated or upset or lazy, you're going to do something completely different than if you're coming from a place of being grateful and happy and excited and passionate and determined. Your action is going to be different. Think of your invites. If you're thinking of, I have to do this versus I get to do this, totally different invite, right? If you're worried or overwhelmed, aren't you going to act completely differently than if you're determined, right? Like, how would the outcome change? The meaning that you choose, keyword choose, to associate with every situation determines the action that you take. The meaning you choose, meaning you literally choose the meaning to every situation. And how you get good at this, how you control this, is your practice. It is not going to be easy to snap your fingers and change this. It's not possible to just snap your fingers, right? If you're writing with your right hand for most of your life, and someone comes along and says, hey, if you wrote with your left hand, life would be so much better. And you start writing with your left hand and it becomes all scribbly, you're naturally going to go back to the right hand, right? It's not going to be easy to change it. You have to practice writing with that left hand. You can condition your mind to change how you feel on a second basis. Every situation in your life, every single circumstance can be a powerful thing in your life with practice. All of a sudden, not knowing enough people can mean there's an opportunity to go meet more. All of a sudden, being dead broke can mean there's an opportunity to go learn the mindsets of financially free and happily wealthy people. All of a sudden, being at a job that you dread every single day can mean that you now have the gift of knowledge of knowing what not to do with your team, right? I'm going to go into a little bit of a personal story about my mom. And you'll see how this relates to coaching in a couple minutes. But I used to blame my mom so much for a lot of the situation in my life. And I just recently started talking about this on social media. It was really hard for me to do, right? I used to blame her for so much of the circumstance in my life. Guys, like every single day when I was a kid, I would walk in from school and turn right down the hallway, walk down this wood floor and see her at her desk, puffing on a cigarette, playing her Bejeweled game on the computer, and just tell me to shut the fuck up and go to my room. Every day of my childhood, right? I don't need the opinion of a punk 16-year-old kid. Every day. And I had this feeling of deep inadequacy in my life. Truly, like I felt like I was never enough. I craved the love of my mom so much, but I feared her at the same time. And I never got it, right? And then I look at the financial situation that I'm in. And how when I was growing up, my grandmother was nice enough to save $50,000 for my college education. 50 grand. And by the time I got to school, that was gone. Completely gone. Stolen. Gone. And I was in debt. And then I look at the relationship she had with my dad. And I'm talking about screaming matches every freaking day, yelling at each other at the top of their lungs in front of their kids, things that I will never do to my children, right? I'm talking about pouring soap on each other to get each other to shut up. And I used to see this in my life every single day of my childhood. And yeah, there were good times, but most of it was emotional abuse. And I would see my dad working so many hours, working his butt off. And I love my dad. He's one of my best friends, right? And he was working so many hours. And it taught me that, you know, the harder you work, the more you just stay the same, right? I learned that money leads to massive pain. I learned that marriage equals massive pain. And for 26 years of my life, I'm 27 now, for 26 years of my life, I focused on that, right? And I used to blame my mom for so much of my circumstance. I'm 27 now, and I have a great relationship with her. How could that be? How could it be that I have an amazing relationship with my mom and I truly love her, I've forgiven her, and I care about her? How is that? It's because I changed the meaning of what this means to me. Because think about this, guys. I want you to think about that situation in your life that you blame in some way, whatever's going on. And I want you to think about the person you are now because of it, right? I look at the situation with my mom, and if that money wasn't gone, there is no way I would have this hunger to be financially free. There's no way in the world. I look at the situation with my mom growing up and craving her love and feeling inadequate and getting yelled at every single day. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't be as loving as I am today. If the situation with my mom and my dad leading to divorce happened, there is no way that I would be as good of a spouse to her, right? So if you're going to blame someone for the shit, that's okay. But you better blame them for the good stuff that came out of it too. That changed my entire relationship with my mom. All I did was change the meaning of what it meant to me. So you can do that for literally every situation in your life, including the action that you need to take to get to your goals, which we'll talk about in a minute. So every morning, I condition my mind to change the meaning of things and to focus on where I'm going in my life. I do an exercise called priming. If you guys are big into Tony Robbins, you'll really appreciate this. It's TonyRobbins.com/momentum. TonyRobbins.com/momentum. And if you scroll to the bottom of the page, there's a 14-minute audio segment. And I want you guys to do that every single day before you begin your business hours, because it will help you focus on where you're going. It will help you focus on becoming grateful. And it will help you focus on the things in your life that need healing, that need change. And it conditions your mind to focus on where you want to go. And you make the emotions in your life the ones you actually want. And it conditions your mind to focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. And that action alone can change your entire life. Think about it. Focusing on being grateful and what you want can change your entire life. Think about this. If you wake up and your spouse is running out the door, they don't give you a kiss goodbye because they're late for work. You bang your toe on the nightstand, you're running late for work. You don't get to eat breakfast. You don't get to give your kids a kiss goodbye. You're late for work. Your boss makes you stay late. You don't get home in time for dinner. Whatever it is, your dog poops on the carpet. You don't get to have dinner with your family. That's a pretty shitty day to most people, right? Most people would say today was horrible. But let me ask you a question, guys. Would your entire day change if the first thing you focused on every single day was, you know what? Holy shit, I'm so glad that I even have a job. When most of this world lives on $900 a year, $2.50 a day, that I have the ability to earn an income and stay home with my family, right? Or that I have the ability to earn this income and provide for my family, that I have food on the table. When a lot of parents in this world are wondering how the hell they're going to give their kids water today, right? I am so grateful for this amazing dog that makes me laugh and smile all the time. And yeah, they shat on the carpet, but that's friggin' hilarious, right? Like, I'm so grateful to be married to this amazing person that makes me laugh and smile all the time. Like, how would your entire day change if you just focus on what you're grateful for every single day before you started your day? Even if that same stuff happened, your dog still pooped on the carpet, you still banged your toe on the nightstand, you still had to stay late for work, all that stuff still happened. It's still a pretty damn good day, right? When you focus on what you're grateful for. When you trade your expectations for appreciations, life changes instantly. When you trade your expectations for appreciations, life changes instantly. And then when you get done with that, focus on what you want to come true, the goals you have in your life, right? Be grateful for them happening. If I focus on how I don't know enough people to invite, or I'm tired today, or I don't have enough time in my day to do this, how would my day be differently? Or go differently if instead I focus on, you know what, I am so freaking pumped for today because I'm going for 5-star diamond. I'm going to walk across stage at Summit, show my team what's possible, and give them this amazing gift of freedom in their life. And I'm so passionate to give this to my family and to be able to retire my spouse, right? Are you worried or are you excited? How does your day change from going, how do I know I don't know enough people, to this is where I'm going? Are you worried? Or are you pumped up? Your view of life literally determines your future. So every single day, condition your mind to focus on being grateful and focusing on what you want, where you're going, and all of that anxiety, that overwhelm, that depression, that fear, you're going to slowly start to notice that not be there as much. And it's going to be replaced with emotions of excitement and passion every single day. Guys, if you're stressed out in your life, how many of you guys feel stress on a regular basis? If you are stressed out in your life, stress is literally a code word for fear. That's what stress is. Stress literally comes from the meaning that something, associating the meaning that something is more important than it really is. Tony Robbins always talks about how most people major in minor things. Stress is majoring in a minor thing. Think about it. If you don't get your kid to soccer practice on time, is it really the end of the world? Right? Or do you still have a house? Do you still have food on the table? Do you still have a job? Can you still provide for them? Stress comes from associating the meaning that something's more important than it really is. If you train your mind like you train your body with these programs and you condition yourself to be your best, your quality of life is always in direct proportion to the quality of your emotions on a day-to-day basis. Because guys, in any moment in time, you can focus, you can literally be upset about anything because what's wrong is always available to you. There is always something that is wrong in your life. I guarantee you, with every single person, you can focus on what's wrong because it's always available to you, but so is what's right. And you can push against those problems instead of giving in to them. Guys, every single person has problems. The only people that don't have problems are in cemeteries. They're dead. If you don't have problems, you don't have a life, right? Problems are literally the resistance that you push against to sculpt your character. That's what a problem is. So take this and make the primary emotions of life the ones that you actually want because you literally control it. And when you view your life as amazing and extraordinary every single day, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody around you and people give it back. I was at the airport. I was privileged enough to fly out to Albany to speak at their Super Saturday. And I was at the airport on the way there and my flight got canceled. And I was in line and there were all these people just bitching and moaning at this poor lady. And she's sitting at the table, like she didn't cancel the flight, right? And they're all complaining and yelling at her. And I'm sitting there just like, okay, cool, this is inconvenient. I'm smiling and laughing, having a good time. All these people are yelling, right? Your view of life determines how you feel, right? This lady, and people give it back. And she comes up to me, plucks me out of line, pulls me to the front and says, sir, thank you so much for smiling when everyone else is being mean. We're actually going to, like, which flight are you on, all this? We're actually going to put you on a different airline, and instead of a layover, you're going to have a direct flight, and you're going to get there sooner than you would have before. People give it back. When you view your life as amazing, people give it back. And you can take that and apply it to every aspect of your life. So I want to go into some actions right now. And I want you guys to pause, and on your sheet of paper, write down 3 actions. We're going to beat procrastination right now. Write down 3 actions that you know you absolutely must take. And this isn't like, I know I need to do. This isn't an I'm going to try. We are deciding and cutting off all ties. This is what we are going to do. And I'm going to give you an exercise that's going to show you how to do that. No more I know what I need to do because that doesn't mean anything, right? We're deciding the 3 actions that I absolutely must take to get to my goal that I've been avoiding or procrastinating on, or I need to do more of. And write down those 3 actions right now. And we'll go 30 seconds. I'm going to get a sip of beer. We're going to do some Jeopardy music or something. In the meantime, write down your goals, guys. Make sure they're written down. When I see eyes look up, I'll know you're done. All right, eyes are looking up. Make sure you guys got those written down because we're going to take action after this call. So the next piece is a big, big, big piece. How many of you guys procrastinate on shit? Me too, right? Guilty, story of my life. So I'm going to give you something right now that's going to help you beat procrastination if you apply this and actually do it. And actually really diving into this can give you an honest look at how silly some of our decisions really are. So we know the big goal that we have. We talked about that at the beginning, right? 5-star and getting Diamondback, all these things. We know the big goal that we absolutely must achieve this year. And we know the 3 action steps that it will take to get there because we just wrote them down. We know we have to take them immediately. We know they're the way to get to our dreams, but oftentimes Game of Thrones is on TV, am I right? Like, how many of you guys have that mental roadblock? Even where your computer is in the other room, you know that sitting here is really dumb, and you know you should go over there and invite, but we don't do it. Anyone guilty? Anyone guilty? Right? We know how important inviting is on a daily basis, and it's the most important thing that we do, but we avoid it. We know that we absolutely must find time for personal growth because literally every successful person in the Beachbody community says it's a must, but we sometimes perceive it as not important. You know, we know that doing our workouts and drinking our Shakeology will benefit all aspects of our life, and it's literally a business decision because that story will inspire other people, but we sometimes don't do that too. Why is that? You guys ever wonder why is that? If we know what we need to do, why don't we do it? It has to do with pain and pleasure. Humans will literally do anything. Like literally all of our decisions and our thoughts are driven by our need to either avoid pain or gain pleasure, right? That's it. And how we associate pain and pleasure to each situation makes a huge impact. So procrastination, why do we procrastinate? It's very, very simple. Procrastination literally means that we believe taking action would be more painful than doing nothing. And we experience less pain by doing nothing. That's procrastination in a nutshell. And human beings will do so much to avoid feeling pain. Our brains will literally fight us to avoid pain at all costs. I did a video about this the other day. Your brain is not wired to be happy. Your brain is wired to survive, right? We're so worried about what someone's going to think of us when we post on social media, what our spouse is going to think, what this person's going to think when we invite them, right? We're worried about that. And that is pain associated in our mind. It's because our brain is focused on surviving. It's 2,000, 3,000 years old, when back then you weren't worried about what someone's going to think on Facebook. You weren't worried about what someone was going to think on Facebook back 2,000 years ago. You were worried about the saber-toothed tiger that was hiding in the bushes that was going to come out and eat you. That's what you were worried about. You were worried about how the hell you were going to feed your family 2 years ago or 2,000 years ago. Can you guys still hear me, by the way? Not if you can still hear me, right? So that's what our brains are conditioned to focus on. So they will literally fight us. Like we're worried about inviting someone with that brain. And our brains will literally fight us at all costs to avoid feeling pain. So if there's ever a decision about an action, we're going to choose the lesser of the two pains. And that's why we procrastinate. So how do we get through this? Is self-awareness. Like we've talked about, our reality is based on what we focus on. If you focus on the pleasure that you get from inviting long-term instead of the pain of doing it, you'll do it. And you can literally link not taking action as more painful in your life and essentially use pain and pleasure instead of having it use you. And I'll show you how to do that. So this is, again, something I learned from Tony Robbins. So we won't do this right now because of time, but your homework coming out of this call is for those 3 actions, really do this 5-step exercise with each of those 3 actions, because it will really make or break the action that you're going to take. So number 1, what is the action that I need to take? Identify it. You already did that, right? So let's say that one of my actions is I need to invite 3 people to the coaching opportunity every single day. Let's say, hypothetically, that's an action that I need to take. So cool, we identified it. Number 2, what is the current pain that I associate with taking action on it? Right? What's the current pain that I associate with taking action on it? That might mean that it takes some time. That might mean that I'm afraid of being rejected, that I'd rather have people come to me, that I have self-doubt that I can be successful at this, that it feels uncomfortable, that someone will judge me. Whatever it is, write out a long list of all the things, the pain that you associate with taking action on it. Number 3, what is the current pleasure that you get from not following through? Because you're actually getting something from it, right? You're actually getting something from not following through. That activity that you're replacing it with, that's what you're getting. Maybe it's more time with your challengers. Maybe it's more time with your husband or wife. Maybe it's an episode of Game of Thrones, New Girl, whatever it is, an episode of TV, right? Gardening, whatever it is. Like, what are you actually getting from not following through? And write down everything there. And number 4, this is where you're going to have an eye-opener if you write this down. If it's in your head, this will never work. And I promise you it will never work. And you need to see it next to each other. Number 4, what will it cost me emotionally 2 years from now if I don't take action every single day starting right now? What will it cost me emotionally 2 years from now if I don't take action every single day starting right now? So for that example of inviting 3 people to the coaching opportunity every single day, maybe it's you won't achieve 5-star diamond, right? You'll find yourself at events wishing you were up there on stage when everyone else that you associate with is. Maybe you'll stay in debt a lot longer. Maybe you'll feel like a failure. Maybe you won't have the freedom to travel. Maybe you'll feel like if you had a bad childhood, you'll feel like your parents did. Maybe you won't be able to give your future kids or your kids the lifestyle that you crave for them. Maybe that you'll feel stressed or overwhelmed, or like you're playing catch up all the time, or your spouse will have to stay at their job longer, or you'll have to stay at your job longer, or you won't be fulfilling your purpose. Holy shit. That's powerful, right? Like, what's really more painful? Taking action on a dream or staying in the same spot in life, right? What's really more painful? And then let's add a kicker to that. Number 5, what will I gain emotionally 2 years from now by taking action every single day starting right now? What will I gain emotionally 2 years from now by taking action every single day starting right now? For this example of inviting 3 people to the coaching opportunity, maybe that's a life of complete and total freedom. Maybe that's paying off 100% of your debt. Maybe that's being a leader within the Beachbody community. Maybe it's that you're able to have your dream anniversary trip or honeymoon or dream wedding. Maybe you'll be able to influence thousands of lives. Maybe you'll grow into an incredible leader. Maybe you'll be able to retire your parents or bring your spouse home. Think about the gravity of that. Like, what's really more pleasurable? A little bit of TV time or complete and total freedom in your life? What's really more painful? Being afraid of what someone might say, or staying in the same spot 2 years from now, right? Like, this stuff, everything that we've talked about, you can condition your mind to do this. And you get good at this by continuously practicing every single day. Repetition, I'm getting some feedback noise on here, guys. Repetition is the mother of skill, right? You get good at this by practicing, but just knowing, there's something that I live by that I want to share with you guys. Just understand that avoiding the things that you need to do is you're going to be stuck, right? You understand that you will never, this is my point, understand you will never escape your way to fulfillment and passion. You will never escape your way to fulfillment and passion. And I needed to accept that, because when you take a look at these lists and you have them side by side, the numbers 2 and 3, the ones about like, what am I getting right now by procrastinating? They're going to be short lists. They're going to be materialistic things. They're going to be things that don't really matter in your life. Numbers 4 and 5, the lists are going to be long as hell, and they're going to be emotional and deep. And it's a shocker when you take a look at this and seeing like, wow, am I really going to procrastinate right now? And and when you do that, you stop escaping from the things that you need to do. You're never going to escape your way to fulfillment and passion. So think about this. Like, your big goal is literally a couple of mental decisions away from fulfillment. That's it. And if you get to the point where you absolutely must change, right? If it's a should, you're not doing anything. If it's an I'll try, never going to happen. That's an excuse. That's a cop-out. If it's an I know what I need to do, that's bullshit, right? That's never going to work. Go back to the example from the beginning about the terminal illness. If you must create that time to spend with them, all backup plans go out the window. We all get what we have to have, right? Think about a time when you were pushing for a big goal and you found a way to make it happen. It's because in your mind, you had to make it happen. It was a must for you. Every other time when you didn't, it was a should. It was an I'll try. It was I hope to, I oughta, right? But if it's a must, you will. And you got to be unreasonable about this, guys. Don't settle for what someone says when they don't understand it, even your spouse, right? Like, don't do what most people say. Like, Janice didn't agree with this in the beginning. If I would have listened to her and not proven her wrong in the beginning, then I wouldn't have her support right now. I wouldn't be living the life that I live. If you agree with most people in your life, guys, you are in trouble, right? Take a look at where everyone is going and sprint the opposite way, right? Think about it like a mountain. Very few people climb to the peak of a mountain. Most people stare at it and think it's beautiful and it's all wonderful. Very, very few people make it to the top and take in the view from up top. And they're looking at every single person that decided not to. The majority of people in this world are at the base. Very few are at the top. My grandpa always used to say, yours is the obligation to make yourself stand out from the crowd. Do that and be ridiculous about it. Don't apologize for it. Be unapologetic about it and break away from a culture that tells you to be less than you can really be. People are going to try to limit you. I can promise you that. Like one person here is just getting their coaching business started. I guarantee you, people are going to try to limit you. People close to you are going to try to limit you, but it's literally all in your head. If I listened to people in the beginning about their opinion of Beachbody, I would not have traveled 100 days in 2016. 100 days. I would not be living a life of choice right now. Don't apologize for being different. That story, that mission that you're on, your vulnerability, the thing that's hard to share, the reason why you're doing this, that is somebody else's freedom. Don't you dare leave that shit trapped in your mouth. Whatever makes you different is going to help somebody else succeed. Don't hide that. Whatever you focus on consistently, you're going to experience in life. So you have big dreams of achieving that goal. You can have that. You just have to condition your mind to focus on it and practice associating so much pain with not doing it that you do it, and link so much pleasure to achieving the goal that you have to take action. If you get out of that life where you really aren't that happy yet, but you aren't unhappy enough to do anything about it yet, if you get out of that, life is going to be amazing. Guys, Beachbody, all it is a vehicle to get you to your purpose. That is it. It is a vehicle. Right? It should never be your life. It's not your life, right? It's a vehicle to fulfill specific needs. And along the way, you're going to interact with a lot of people. And you need to interact with a lot of people in order to make this happen. And I'm going to give you a little tip that has made a huge difference in my life. And regardless of whatever personality you have, use this and it will change your life. Whatever you want to feel, give it. And give it first. Whatever you want to feel, give it. And give it first. Most people want to feel significant. Most people want to feel loved. Most people want to feel important. I do, right? Like, just imagine how much of an impact it would make on people if you focus on trying to give how you want to feel to them every single day. Think about it with your inviting, right? If you deeply try to make someone feel loved and important and significant when you invite them, how great of an experience will they have, even if they decide not to move forward with this? It will still be an amazing thing, right? Like, if you're so worried about what you're going to say, all of a sudden you're using them as a pawn, right? But if you're worried about giving and thinking about all these amazing things Beachbody has done for your life and giving this to them and truly trying to benefit their life, inviting becomes so freaking easy. Right? So instead of, hey, I'm running a challenge group and I need 3 people and, oh shit, I got to say this way. And hey, by the way, you're interested. I don't know. It's going to be a really cool group. Would you be interested in checking it out? Right? Instead of that, why can't it be, hey, Lisa, or hey, Christina, right? Like, I was thinking about you guys today, and every single time I get to see you guys on a trip, it's so much fun. I love that one time we sat outside on the cruise and just hung out for a couple of hours, just chatting about random bullshit and just having a good time and meeting your husbands and just having a blast with you guys and getting to know you guys throughout the last couple of years. I know you're working so hard in your jobs right now. And the reason I'm reaching out is because I'm actually curious. I put together these fitness groups for really, really busy people. And I have no idea if this is for you or not, but I thought you could benefit. Have you ever considered doing one of those fitness challenges that I run? With all the hours you're working right now, I think this could really add value to your life. By the way, how are your kids doing? What grade are they in right now? Give what you want to feel, and you're going to feel what you gave. If you say, hey, I'm running a challenge group and I need 3 people, and they avoid you or they say no, like, how do you feel? You feel pretty shitty, right? You don't feel authentic, right? You feel like they were just a pawn and you were using them. You feel pretty insignificant and you made them feel insignificant. But what if you go the other way? I can guarantee you that their response will make you feel just as great as you made them feel, right? This business is about authentic relationships and caring, not bullshitting your way to a response. It's about authentic relationships and caring about people. Give that if you want to receive it. And there isn't a secret, guys. There's no secret to this business whatsoever at all. You know the vital behaviors. And if you're new, you're going to learn them, right? The invite, be proof the products work, grow yourself, and recognize people for working hard. That's it. That's what every successful coach does, right? There's no secret. So instead of asking, what do I need to do? Because you already know. Ask yourself, what's the result that you want, right? Focusing on what you need to do makes you feel overwhelmed. How many look at a to-do list and go, oh shit, right? Like, focusing on what you need to do makes you feel overwhelmed. Focus on what you want, the result you want, and you're going to feel energized and excited because you're going for 5-star, you're going for elite. You have to be honest with yourself about where you're at, guys. Honesty is freedom. Nothing is going to get better until you admit that something is off, and you have to adjust your beliefs. A belief, any belief that you have, is literally, I've learned this from Tony Robbins too, is literally a feeling of absolute certainty about what something means. That's a belief, and that's it. And when you feel certain, you make it happen. Beliefs literally control your behavior. And what I'll finish with, guys, is the power of emotions. I talked earlier about how people almost get annoyed with me at why I'm happy all the time. I'm going to share with you how I live in that state every single day. And it comes from changing the meaning of every situation in my life. right? And I look forward to the times that I'm challenged with this. Like, this is bigger than Beachbody. This is bigger than rank. It's bigger than Success Club. This is thinking about our life. Our lives are dictated by the emotions that we feel most often. It's a pattern, right? Like if you're depressed, right? I guarantee you, yes, there are biological things that go on in the brain that cause that pattern to show up more frequently. But I guarantee you that depressed is something you do, right? Because I guarantee you, if you're looking in a mirror and you're bouncing around smiling, waving your hands and laughing, you don't feel depressed, but you label yourself as depressed, right? Like it's an emotional pattern that we go back to. It's where we live. It's something that we've just conditioned our mind and rewarded in our mind to fulfill specific needs. That's why we go back to it. If you leave your house and your house is messy, you're gonna come home, right? You're still gonna come home. If you set the thermostat to 75 and it's 90 degrees outside, it's gonna come down. It's an emotional pattern. So beating these negative emotions or beating this and mastering your emotions and truly coming from a beautiful state every single day is not about denying a negative emotion. Those negative emotions are very, very, very real, but it's about using them to create positive change. It's a signal for you. Like, understand something here, guys. How you feel in any moment in time is literally the result of the meaning that you have given to any experience in your life. Anything. Even the death of a family member, right? And that's kind of ballsy to say, right? But it's the meaning of every experience you've got in your life. Guys, pain in your life, any sort of pain that you have in your life, pain is guaranteed to happen in your life, but suffering from it is optional because you choose the meaning of every circumstance. If a man opens the door for a woman and she's really, really excited about it, why is she excited? Is it because of him opening the door? Or is it because of what she associated him opening the door to mean, right? It's not because of the event. If he opens it and she's all pissed off, thinking like, dude, screw you, I can get this myself, I don't need you. He still opened the door. She just associated something different with the event, right? So whatever you're feeling in any moment in time is never, ever based on any experience. And if you're blaming some experience in your life, go back to that example with my mom from the beginning. Change the meaning. It's your interpretation of the experience. It's the way you represent your experience in your mind. Represent literally means represent, how we're telling ourselves to react. So if something is a negative emotion, if you feel negativity in any way, don't deny it. Welcome it and learn from it. It's giving you a signal that something needs to change. So an amazing example to prove to you what I mean about how you literally control how you feel, close your eyes and actually do this. Close your eyes for a second. And I want you to imagine that goal that you wrote in the chat box, right? Imagine that goal for a second. And I want you to put yourself in a state of just really hoping for it. Like, what do you feel when you really hope it could happen? What emotions come to mind when you hope for it? What do you feel? Like, really feel it inside you. What do you feel when you hope for it? And keep your eyes closed. And I want you to imagine that same exact goal. But instead of being in a state of hoping for it, I want you to put yourself in a state of 100% complete and total expectation that shit is happening right friggin' now. That goal is coming true. You're gonna be able to retire from that job. You're gonna be able to retire your spouse. You're gonna be able to stay home with your kids. Those things are going to happen in your life. And I want you to feel that. What does it feel like when you expect it to happen? You guys can open your eyes, but think about this. Hoping is passive, right? You focus on both possibilities that it could happen and it might not happen. Expecting is intent, and it focuses on one possibility and it's more intense of an emotion, right? So when you look at those states you were in, you were able to hope it came true, right? And you were also able to expect that it came true. And both had a different emotion that you felt in your mind. So you literally just change your emotions by changing your focus. I just proved to you right there, you literally control your emotions on a second-to-second basis. Nothing changed from the content of what I said. Nothing changed from the content of the goal. I just told you to expect it to happen. My point is that you're always in control of how you feel, no matter what the circumstance. And understand that any negative emotion in your life, anything you feel that's negative, has a very positive purpose. It is giving you a signal that something has to change. That's a negative emotion. It's a message for you. Don't make the message wrong. use it to change your life, right? When you avoid it, it's just going to intensify. So recognize it when you feel it, respect it, and appreciate it, because it's literally teaching you something. Like being overwhelmed. We're going to talk about this one. In my opinion, it's not bad to be overwhelmed. I just believe you're choosing to do it, right? Overwhelm literally just means that you need to reevaluate what's most important to you. That's overwhelm. It literally means that you're expecting perfection in an imperfect world. It means you don't have priorities. You have too many priorities or no priorities, right? If you were to take a look at that big long list and say, what is the result I want out of this day? What's the result out of my life? I guarantee you can pinpoint priority number one. All of a sudden, overwhelm goes away. You're choosing to be overwhelmed. So if you get curious and you ask yourself every question you can about, what is this emotion really telling me? Like, what can I learn from this? And you just remove yourself from the emotion for just a second and you say, okay, I feel shitty. Why do I feel shitty? What could this really mean? You get really curious. Like if your spouse is quiet for a couple of days, does it really mean they're pissed off at you? Does it mean they don't love you? Does it mean that they might be caught up in something? Does it mean they maybe had a bad day for a couple of days and they need more attention from you? Does it mean that they need more help with the kids? There are countless meanings of why someone or some circumstance is the way it is. And if you actually take a second to not immediately react and just ask yourself what that emotion really means, you literally control your response to it, right? So assess it and take action. And all of this goes way beyond goal setting. It goes into why we do what we do. Beachbody is not everything in your life. It should never be everything in your life. It's a vehicle you're using to get to where you want to be in life. And you're going to screw things up along the way. Of course you are, right? Everyone does. But those delays are not denials unless you give up, right? You don't control the events. You don't control if someone says no. You don't control if a coach quits, the work your boss gives you, what someone says, if someone judges you. You don't control that, but you do control what it means to you. That's yours. You own that. So you got to decide what you want your life to be about. Like, what's your real purpose with this? For me, I'll share mine and I'll show you how any achievement, any sort of goal that you have with Beachbody is not your purpose, right? Financial freedom is not your why. 15-star diamond is not your why. Retiring your spouse is not your why. Those are achievements you can have on the path to fulfilling your why. Your why is the what would it feel like if, right? For me, the purpose of my life is to be the happiest, most genuine, passionate, and loving person I can possibly be by deeply emotionally influencing other people to be so freaking happy through their unlimited quality of life and putting them in discovering in different environments that they can appreciate and grow from and finding deep connection in their relationships and being their bridge to becoming strong and courageous and powerful and living every single day full of passion. That is not something I can achieve with the fulfillment of an activity as a Beachbody coach. That's something people will look at me at my grave, right? When I'm at my funeral and say that that's what I was all about. Because the majority of your results, all the results come from the action that you take. The action you take comes from the meaning you choose to associate with it. The activities that produce the results are known to you. And if they're not, Google that shit because it's out there, right? The only thing that matters is what goes on between your ears. And if you do that, you mastered goal setting. And instead of doing what most people do and live their life by chance and blaming circumstances from where they're at, instead of shrinking your dreams to the size of your circumstance, your current income, your current business, you can build your income to the size of your dreams and be able to give this gift to other people. And when you do that, you've truly mastered goal setting. So that is an extremely different approach to goal setting tonight, guys. Hope you took a lot away from it. I hope it was impactful. And Christina and Lisa, I will turn it back over to you guys. And now I'm actually going to breathe for the first time in an hour.
Oh my God. That was amazing. You unmuted everybody except for yourself, Christina.
I see that. That was amazing, Brad. Absolutely amazing. I had chills for the whole hour. I loved it. I loved it. I like the part where it has to be a must, not that you will try or that you will do it or that you need to do it. It's a must have. Oh, I think hold on, let me. Okay. So anybody else want to comment or have anything to say to Brad?
You rock, Brad.
You rock, Rachel.
I agree. So I am just totally energized, and this was huge, Brad. Thank you so much. So I totally needed this pep talk. You hit some emotions. Thank you very much. But that's what it's about. So thanks so much for being here tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think our team struggles a lot with getting the highs and lows of the roller coaster of being a Beachbody coach. And this is an awesome way to look at how to make something negative or discouraging more positive by having a positive mindset. So it was completely awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome, dude. No problem at all. It's an honor to speak for you guys, and thank you so much for having me. Anytime you guys need anything, just let me know.
All right. So this will conclude our meeting tonight. Thanks again, Brad. And you guys have an amazing rest of the week. And don't forget to do all of your vital behaviors. Bye.
Night.
See you guys. Have a good one.
You too.